kind of stuff that I was taking at the time led to quite interesting and surreal thoughts. Little did I know that the reason I was sort of taking all the stuff was because I had so much internal emotional pain that everything I took was to numb the pain. I had no idea about that at that time. But I can remember one instance certainly where I was, sitting in a cafe, sort of in front of the window looking out, and bizarrely, a dog turned up with a banjo on its back, and dare I say, Rolf Harris's Head. Probably one of the better recollections of Rolf Harris nowadays, I suppose. But yeah, it turned up with Rolf Harris's Head and started busking and playing this banjo outside the cafe. And another incident where I was in a store, and all the mannequins suddenly came to life and started following me. And another instance of this spaceship came down in the middle of the park, and aliens got out and started talking to me. This is really bizarre stuff. But I got caught up on speed at that point, and dexedrins and stuff like that, which were then available, and I was speeding most of the time, and I would be awake for days, and then asleep for days, and awake for days, and sleep for days. But I took so many that I actually ended up in hospital, and my kidneys were blocked because the speed is largely chalk powder with a tiny bit of amphetamine. It was then, and all this chalk had sort of collected in my system, and my belly was out here. I couldn't pee. And as it turned out, my kidneys went awry, and I ended up in hospital having most of my kidneys taken out. In fact, I've got about a quarter of one nowadays that I live on just and I was in hospital for several weeks with that. And that was boring, because once I got up, over the operation, and I just wanted to get out, but I had nowhere to go because I was, pretty much homeless, and they didn't want to let me out. But I learnt to get around that situation because I used to go and hide my clothes under my dressing gown, and then go off, to the back door of the hospital, and then change it in my clothes and go off to the pub, having just had my kidneys out, and then come back a couple of hours later, just about the time when the nurses' shifts were going to change, so I wasn't noticed too much, And I used to do that, and then I'd come out of hospital, and I had the opportunity to go horse riding with stitches. And I just went off horse riding, and somebody did help me out and put me up for a while, and off I went again on my travels. I couldn't stay in one place for any length of time really, but it came to the point where I felt I had to go back home. It may not have been the best family, but it was all I had. And as I said, I just turned up on the doorstep one day like I'd been gone an hour or two. And I stayed there for a while to sort of get my life back. But it wasn't the best move, because by that time my mother really was a chronic alcoholic. And I was still trying to get over my own challenges with alcohol. And it was a constant battle with her, because she'd just become more aggressive and more cantankerous, and it's very difficult, because when it's your own family, there's almost an obligation really to stay there. You wouldn't do it with friends, but with family it felt different to me. And I recognised that she was ill, and I wasn't particularly well myself, but I was back with family again, and so I kind of tolerated all the hassle and all the abuse which followed. And I absolutely adored myself. He was looking back, he was probably more my world than the rest, my partner was and her children.